No. So syntax, we need to understand syntax so we can talk to the computer. Okay, what else? Something you learned today. Right. Oh, he mentioned function. And specifically, he said how to declare a function. Declare. This is declaration. You're declaring a function. And what we call it here, we define the function. But to have a better vocabulary, use declare a function. Good. Who else? How do we declare a function? Function. Name of the function. Parentheses. Between braces. So you can put your you want. Someone said there is other ways. Tell me the other way. Bar. Name. Function name. Equal. Function. And curly braces. Very good. Awesome. Very good. And what else about functions? Anyone else? Benefits of?
Function can make work
easy
for you and for computer.
Like why functions? Makes it easy for you. Makes it easy. Okay. And computer to do what? Why it makes it easy for you?
You don't need to repeat the code.
Okay, not to repeat yourself. Okay. Not to repeat the instructions. So no repetition. Good. What else?
We learned how to call the function.
Oh, okay. So about the function, declaring the function and calling functions. You might see it in Google or somewhere else. They're not using calling, it's saying invoking the function. Or we call it invoking. Invoking the function means calling the function. It's the same. Giving the command. How do we invoke this function?
Function.
Mm-hmm. And semicolon. That's how we invoke the function. Very good, very good. What else you learned from the lab?
We can use this in HTML.
Okay, so you can
use the name function.
Call or invoke the function in HTML. How?
One of the ways script.
Scripts.
Document.
Okay. Dot.
That's it. But it's
Parentheses. Okay. Okay. So what you're trying to say here, you can write some JavaScript code inside these scripts, right? And you can call this function. Let's say it's function name, then you can do fun name, right? Either you do the document right, is that me? Okay. So either you document it, write it, or you do something else, right? But you can call the function from the script that's inside HTML. That's the cool thing also about HTML. You can include JavaScript code whenever you want. Anywhere you can define a small script that will run something related to JavaScript. Good? Oh, the function can also do return. So functions also returns data, whatever. In this case, what did it return to you today?
We just change the document right in HTML.
And in JavaScript,
Yes.
it returns.
Yes.
What did it return? What can the function return to you? What data type? What type of data? Is it numbers? Can functions return numbers to you? Can functions return text to you? Text string? Can? It can. Okay? So it can return any data. Okay, let's do something. Let's create a function in JavaScript that can add two numbers together and return the value. Let's do this here. So I'm gonna go open the console as we did. Here it is. So help me defining the function. Function add numbers. So I want this function to get two numbers from us, add them, and return the result. Tell me what to do. How do I get the first value? We did it before, right? Okay. So this function will ask the user for two values, add them together, and then give you back the result. Var A. A equal. Okay, how do we get this number? Prompt. Right? So we prompt it from the user. What should the message be here?
Enter your favorite number.
Okay, enter your, I want to call it first number. Close. And then what should we do next? Var B, the second number. And then we do the same thing, right? So give me the second number. Then what? Oh, this is the B, yes. Okay, then we got the two numbers. What should we return here? So you need a var C, he said, and C equal A plus B. And then we return C. Great. This is cool. Love it. Let's see if it works. Okay. It did not ask us for anything. So there's no problem. Seems like it's okay. But it did not ask us for any value. Why? It did not give us a prompt. Yeah, but what can we do to get this prompt? Like enter your first name. Yeah, there's no website, but still I can run JavaScript here without a website.
Yeah, There is no input.
Well, I'm asking for the input from the JavaScript.
Yeah, you need to get input.
How can we get input? I'm getting input here. I'm telling it, give me the first number, give me the second number, and return the addition. But when we did this, it did not ask us for, it should give us a message says enter the first number, right? Where is this message? Can't see it. What should we do? Go back to the cake question. The cake. I tell you, so I tell you what steps to follow in order to make a cake, right?
Have a recipe. We need ingredient.
Exactly. You get the ingredients. I tell you what ingredients to buy, and then I tell you what the recipe, and then you put them on the side. After I give you the recipe and so on, did I ask you to make a cake? Not yet. I'm just giving you what to do. How can I ask you to make a cake? What should I tell you?
He give you ingredients.
Okay. I gave you the recipe to make the cake. What should I tell you so you can go make a cake? Make a cake. Did we give JavaScript an order to add the numbers?
We didn't call the action.
Exactly. We did not call the function. We did not invoke it. So I should do this. Here we go. So here we declared the function, but we did not call it. We did not invoke it. What's the first number? 4. Second number? 7. What? Is it multiplied by? Uh-huh. That's interesting. Let me do this again. Add numbers. What's the first number? 1. What's second number? 2. It's 1, 2. So the first number is an A as a string. Second number is a 2 as a string. So the combined is 1, 2 as one string. Now we should tell JavaScript, well, these are numbers. They're not strings. Okay. So there is a way to do this, but let's keep it for later. So I just want to tell you here, like, don't forget to invoke the function if you want it to work, okay? Good. Think we're good here. It will return data. That's the return data. Okay? Makes sense? Okay. Okay, what else? Anything else you learned about functions? Lots of information, huh? Are you tired after lunch? Obviously. Yeah, I am. Drink more water, maybe coffee. Okay, I think that's good enough. Let's go learn something new today. Taking a picture of this and send it to you again. Okay. All right. Gonna learn something cool now. This is gonna be kind of the last lecture. Today, tomorrow, it will be more focused on the reading, and there's feedback, and there's an exam. So you do all of that together tomorrow. Okay? I will get back to you with the actual schedule today, maybe at 4 p.m., 5 p.m. I will tell you what's going to be the schedule for tomorrow. But maybe you need to, we'll give you some time also to finish, like, do your labs in the morning. So whatever you did not finish, so maybe we can finish them tomorrow. Let's see how that goes. But this is going to be the last new topic we will do this week. Okay. Loops. That's something new you will. Why you said, oh my god? You don't like loops? Do you know what loops is? Okay, maybe you can tell us more about them. Tell us, what's a loop? You're repeating something, right? That's cool. I love it. So sometimes you need to repeat things. So you use like this tool there. If you need to say high class, high class, high class 100 times until some condition. Love it. Yes. Good. 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 You're on it. So, what's a loop? Why do we use loops? A loop is, again, it's a way in JavaScript that you can repeat steps, you can repeat instructions, you can repeat, let's use the actual vocabulary, you can repeat statements. So if you have statements you want to keep repeating and repeating and repeating, you can use loops. Let's take an example. So you want to repeat, for example, yes.
The wrong password. I want to.
Love this example. So let's design something, and he said like when you type a password and does not work, it will ask you again to type it again, type it again, type it again, and if it does not work, it will ask you again. Unless it works, what do we say?
You forget the password.
If it works, I mean.
If it works, you will
Open it, yes. Good, very good example actually. So that means so there's two. First of all, there's two type of loops you can build in JavaScript. The first one is called a while loop. The second one is called a for loop. Here we go. That's a for loop. So that's a for loop and that's a while loop. So I'm saying here, for example, question could be, what is your password? And you enter a password. If it's correct, it will tell you, thank you, you're good. This is secret. That's it, you're done. If not, okay, this is the wrong password. What's your password? And so on and so on. Okay? So that's kind of like what could a loop be worked for. Like a while loop here will ask you, will keep repeating the same code over and over until some condition is happening.
So it's unlimited even.
It's unlimited unless some condition is happening. And in his case, in his example, the condition is the password is correct. When the password is correct, this loop will stop. And we use these samples actually to, I'm not sure if you saw them in college or in school, I'm not sure. But it's like you think of them like this: steps, enter your password. Password. And that's the first step. The second step is like, this is for the computer. Like, hey computer, check if or not even. Yeah, we ask the computer the question: is the password correct? And you know, like this shape, it means in this descriptive language, it means like you are asking a question that has a yes or a no. That's what it means here. This is just an instruction. Enter the password. If yes, if the password is correct, what do we do? Exit. You're good. If the password is false, so this is what we do here. This is where we begin. If the password is false, or so this is true, or like yes, and this is a false, which is a no. So if the password is not correct, we ask to enter the password again. And let's say there's no limit. So usually they put limits on passwords, like 3 trials, and it will block. In our case, since we're doing something simple, let's say there's no limit. Enter your password. Is the password correct? If it's not correct, we'll ask you again. And again, until you enter right password, it will exit till you're good. Like, maybe we can say here, maybe say hello or something. That's a good example. So that's a while loop. Now you will get to know why we use these a lot in the future examples. But in general, it means like you are repeating specific instructions until something happens. And when I say specific instructions, I mean now in this case, this is the instruction. Enter your password. You keep repeating this until some condition happens. When it's true, you exit. You exit the loop. Any questions about this? Do you have question, comment? Do you have an example you want to connect it to the while loop? Maybe we can draw it together here. Think about something. We'll do a demo later on, after you read. But this is in general what a loop is, while loop. Good. The other type of loops is the for loop. This is, do you know when this will stop? I ask you, Dua. Dua, do you know when this will stop? Like how many times the user will enter until the user get the correct password? Do you know how many times? Could be the first time, right? It could be 1,000 times. You don't know. If you want something specific, use a for loop. In the for loop, we need to repeat the same thing 10 times. We know exactly how many times we want to repeat it. Okay?
For example, 3 times this limiting.
Yes, exactly. Good job. So if you want the user to enter only 3 times, okay, maybe we can use this one with some changes too. Okay? So, and start with the same thing. So you start with some data initialization, then you check the condition. If it's true, you go to the body, which is in this case these instructions here, and then you update something and then you go back. In this case, we can, let's assume it's 3 times. So in the initialization, say like 3 times. Don't want to complicate it for you, but we'll talk about the syntax later. And then you say, okay, this is time number 1. Already 3 times. If it's yes, already, I'm sorry, not already 3 times, still less than 3 times, So they want them to enter the password, right? So if it's the first trial, do we check is it still under 3 times? Yes, because it's the first trial. Now we'll go, okay, enter the password. That's the first time they enter the password. And then we say, okay, after they enter the password, here we say maybe it's right or wrong. If it's true, what should we do? Exit. If it's true. If it's false, we don't exit or we don't go back here. No, this is still, we don't know if it's the first time or not. So enter the password. If it's right, we exit right away. If it's not right, we say make sure to increase the number of trials. Now, like add 1 to number of trials. And then you go to where? To here. And you check the number of trials. Like, is it still less than 3? Yes. You enter the password. And then you check, is it true? Is it the right or not? If it's right, then you add 1. If you exit, otherwise you add 1. Now, this is like still less than, this is true. If it's false here, what do? You block the user and you exit. It's more complicated than this one, right? Because we have another this like condition. This is just an if statement. So assuming there's only 3 times here, you check if you tried less than 3 times or not. If it's greater than 3 times, you should block the user and exit. If not, then you keep going. Enter password, check if it's correct or no. If it's correct, you exit everything. If it's not correct, you add 1 to the number of trials, and you say, is the number of trials exceeded 3 or 3 more than 3, and so on. You do the logic. That's something about the for loops. They are a little bit different. They can do the same, but as you know here, like as you saw here, we added another layer here, which is like making the trials only 3 times. Many examples about the loops, okay? And this is maybe one of the examples. Maybe we can talk a little about it here, or I show you the code, or I should show you this before. I don't know. Show you what. Okay, so here I want you to print out, okay, all the numbers from 0 to 11, or from 0 to 12, and every time you multiply by 8. Okay, so which is it's gonna be, if you're gonna teach someone like جدول ضرب, okay, multiplications, so 0, 8, 16, then what? 24. You guys don't know this?
No.
You know it, right?
Yeah.
What's after? 32, then 40, 48, 54, 60, 56, 64, 72, 80. Okay? So if you want to do this, you can do it here. And then 88, and then I'm not sure afterwards it will. Okay? So if you want to do this, you can do it manually, but you also can ask the for loop to do it for you. Which is, look at this first. Start. I equals 0. You want to start from 0. Is I less than or equal 12? True. Still. This is the first one. If it's true, you want to print 8 multiplied by 0, which is 0. And then you add 1 to I, because you're going to move on to the next step, which is 1. And now, is 1 less than or equal 12? True. Print 8. And then I will equal 2. Is 2 less than or equal 12? True. And then you do 24. And so on and so on and so on until you get to 12. Is 12 less than or equal 12? True. Print 12 multiplied by 8. And then I equal 12 plus 1, which is 13. Is 13 less than or equal 12? No. False, you stop. And that's, in JavaScript, that's how you write it. The for loop, it has this keyword for. You should define whatever's in here, I equals 0. And you say, this should keep going until while is I less than or equal 12. If I is greater than 12, you should stop. Okay? And every time when you're done, add 1 to I. That's what it means. And every time what you should do, just to print I multiplied by 8. Whew. So, we'll do the demo after you read. I think the demo will clarify a lot of things. But keep in mind the two major things, which is the while loop that will continue until specific condition is happening, and we don't know when it will stop because it depends on maybe the user input, maybe it depends on something else, we don't know. Okay, so we don't have expectation when this loop will stop, and the other one is a for loop which will stop after specific condition that we know it in advance, and we know how many times this will run. So this we know, like 0 to 12, that's 13 times. So we know this loop will run for 13 times. Okay? Go read, and let's take a look here. See, where is the canvas? Canvas. That's canvas. That's canvas. Okay, here we go. So the read operators and loop. So it asks you to, other than the journey, asks you to read from the book for about the for and the while loops. These pages, 170 to 173, and the page 176 is comparisons and logical operators. This is very important. We talked about them today in the morning a little bit. The less than, greater than, or equal, and greater than, and less than, or equal. So also there's like more about them there, and then it asks you to share your learning. Good. This, we don't expect you to understand this from just this lecture, because this lecture is just an introduction, but maybe after the demo you will learn more about it. Okay? We'll do something together. Okay? What's the time? It's 2:45. We should stop at, let's see,
3:15.
3:15? Okay, 3:15. Stop at 3:15. You have 30 minutes. Okay, thank you.